Alrighty, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the final Friday Night Live of 2024. We have got what I'm hoping to be a spectacular send-off to the year. I don't know how things are going to go. We shall see in a moment. But I hope you all had a great Christmas, and I hope you all are looking forward to the new year. So let's kick things off like we always do. Raise up those cups and cheers to everyone for the week behind us and the weekend and the end of the year ahead of us. Cheers. All right. So who do we all have in here? In the chat, it's flying by already. And I have got all kinds of stuff going on because, like I said, I think I put together for the last show of the year a pretty spectacular show. We had some guesses in the chat earlier as to who the special guest was going to be tonight. And there were a few correct answers. However, there were also, those answers were also not correct. If you can figure that out. So I guess without further ado, we may as well just get into it because we're going to have a lot to cover tonight. It's going to be a little crazy if things get, with questions and comments. I'm not sure we're going to be able to keep up, but we're going to try. And so hopefully you can all just sit back and enjoy. And like I said, have a good time on this last final Friday Night Live of 2024. So, all right. Are you ready? Let's bring in tonight's special guest for Friday Night Live, the year-end extravaganza. All right, wait. I didn't hear you guys if you were ready or not. Are you ready? I gotta double check the chat here. All right. I think you are. So here we go. All right, woo! Ladies and gentlemen, there they are. The guests this evening. We have all the way from the 51st state of the USA, Canada, Andrew Easton.
G'day, eh?
How you doing? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys.
We got Bob Nelson, the importer-exporter extraordinaire. Good evening, Bob.
What's up, guys? Hope you had a good Christmas.
We have Shibe with somebody off to his right. How's it going, Shibe?
It's going good. Going good.
We got Brad in the middle, right down there. How you doing, Brad?
Merry Christmas, everybody. Good to be here.
And then, rounding us off, down in the corner, Mr. Ohio Woodburner himself, Joe. Good evening.
Hello, everyone.
All right. Well, this is something that's I've never done before on Friday Night Live. Assemble this type of team around me here this evening, but I think it's going to be fun and entertaining. So are you guys ready? That's to you guys here in the Bob.
Oh yeah, we're ready.
Oh
We're
yeah,
ready.
yeah.
I think we're ready.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's raise up whatever you have in your cup there. Let's raise it up and look at those things. Look at that fancy little thing down there. Oh, Dr. Pepper. All right. Well, oh boy. Now, the one thing I need you guys to be prepared for, both watching and you guys here on screen with me, is, Marlon, our good friend Marlon, loves the ladies to swing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So for the super chats tonight, I thought since there's all of us here on screen, we're going to need a few more ladies. So we have a super chat waiting from Marlon. Grab your cups. Let's raise them up. And here we go. Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. That's busy.
Marlon, thank you very much, Marlon. Happy New Year. Cheers. You see, I got the eyedropper for you, Brad. All right, so I have since this is the last live stream of the year, I thought we would just go around. We can start up here with Andrew. You can kick us off, and just looking back on the year, what stands out for you from 2024?
I'm not sure that the whole year was a blur. Like it was. There was a lot happening this year. Like for East to me and myself, for the whole community here. Like it's been a busy year. Like we started off with Joe's open house there. We had a really great time at the International Firewood Expo. So if you guys haven't been out to that, I think Joe's doing it again this year. You should come out. It was a really good time. I think Joe's bringing it to a bigger venue, so it was a blast doing that. All the trade shows, lots of new equipment, lots of new machines, new products for us. So it's been a busy year. A lot of design stuff, a lot of testing. So it's been it's been a lot of fun. Anyways, in 2025 looks like it's going to be just about the same. We have lots of new projects going on, lots of new products we're working on. So we're really looking forward to that.
Well, I had a question last week, and we're going to get to that later on about something new coming out from you guys up there. But Bob, what about you? Oh my, you got Andrew getting mood lighting going.
I just have to move again.
Yeah. This year was a busy year for us too. Like Andrew said, the shows, really an important thing. I mean, this community is just awesome. And I don't think it matters like what company you're with or anything like that. Like everybody in this community, in this like firewood industry, it's really, we had a lot of fun. We went to the Hoosier Hardwood or the Hoosier Firewood Hysteria in April to make a bunch of firewood for vets. East Maid was there too, I saw. And we all made a huge pile of firewood for those guys. And then we had all of our normal shows too. And like Joe's event was, I think, a lot bigger than he had planned it would be. And now it's going to be in a bigger venue next year. So we're really looking forward to that. And I think top for this year, probably for us, would have been the Paul Bunyan show. Was just crazy. I always tell people if there's one show that they can make it to in the whole year, Paul Bunyan is the one to do it. And this year was no different. And we had no rain, so that was kind of cool.
That was a big, very fun-filled, busy weekend with a lot to see. And yes, the weather once again was key.
Yeah, we got lucky.
Shibe, what do you got going on? What was your recollection of 2024? What stood out for you there?
Do you want the good or the bad? The things were good.
Start with the good.
So all the events, Joe's, or actually Brad's, Fellowship, Joe's, Bunyan Show, Hoosier. I went to Hoosier, the Hope event. All the events were great. We made a lot of firewood at the Hope event and the Hoosier Firewood Hysteria. Bunyan was awesome, as usual. And it's just like Bob said, if you can go to one event in a year, Bunyan would be the event for sure. But I've had a hectic year. Obviously, you guys seen I haven't been putting out much videos. So with me being sick and then my mom having her problems, it's just been hectic around here. So, but I did get a Christmas gift, pretty much from Mr. Andrew Easton, right above me here. So you'll be seeing that in a few videos here coming up. So we'll see how it goes. I'm planning on starting January 1st, hopefully. So we'll see how that goes.
Uh-oh. All right. Well, Brad, you're up.
Well, my year started off with a hard introduction to mud, and I learned I now have a PhD. I have a PhD in mud certifications. So that's how my year started off. But as everyone else has said, the shows have been great. The Hope event is fantastic. I think that is the East Coast event at this point. So if you haven't been to that or if you've been thinking of coming to it, we are growing that every year. It's going to be bigger this year. There's already plans in motion. There's already equipment in motion that is going to be there this year to grow it even bigger. And it's for a fantastic cause. So if you're thinking about coming to that event, definitely check it out. Everybody already mentioned Paul Bunyan. I think it's great that, so many of us get to go to those shows and meet each other. And I think Paul Bunyan this year, I was there a day longer this year, so I got to interact with a lot more people and meet a lot more people, which is my favorite part of going to the show. Is just to kind of put names with faces, even though it's really tough to remember everybody's name and everybody's face. It's really cool to shake hands with people and have some short conversations. And then, as you know, if you follow me on Facebook, I just got back from a trip to Canada. The first time I've ever been in Canada. Went up and spent a long weekend with Andrew up there and learned about cold weather and the all-time condo of deer hunting stands. So it's been a great year. Looking forward to 2025.
All right. Mr. Ohio Woodburner.
Somebody needs to get off the couch.
Yes, my whole year revolved around that International Firewood Expo, which I thought was pretty cool. And everyone that you see on this live stream was there. And then, then again, late in the season with the Paul Bunyan show, we had a full house for that too, for my yearly cookout for all the vendors. That was real nice. We had really, I think, gotten deeper into our relationship with Easton Made and that Axis GT, which I think is awesome. We also had a Wolf Ridge splitter on the channel this year. And then I was part of that group with Dan and Gord and Stony Ridge Farm with the development of that splitter for the Log Ox company. That was a lot of fun to have input with that. And I should be getting a video of that coming up here shortly. Not to mention, though, Dan, the podcast continues to grow. The numbers are impressive, and it's just been fun. Dan and I have a lot of fun doing it. And even when we aren't recording, we kind of start laughing about we should have recorded our current conversation because it was pretty entertaining. I think we had another one today.
Oh, yes. It's definitely one of these days we just have to do that. I have to get something where I can just capture the audio from, phone conversations and just, I mean, one day that's going to make one heck of a podcast, let me tell you.
We could lose our G rating, though, if we were to do that.
I was going to say, are you going to get canceled?
Yeah,
we could.
At some point, we just have to not give a shit about that anymore.
Yeah, Dan has a potty mouth, I'm here to tell you.
Yeah, he told us no swearing, and look what he just did.
Well,
yeah.
He never mentioned to me.
I think he only mentioned me.
Yeah. You two are the guys I got like a little beat button waiting for over there. I'll have to say one thing with what Brad said with the whole getting to meet people again at the all the different shows. It's always like, it's fun because I always have to like pretend I remember who they are until I can get out of them their name, and then I can put the dots together. I always try to find a way to like make them say their name or like, something, because that's the one thing that I have the toughest time with is remembering people's names. But it's speaking of, we got a couple. We got all kinds of people in here that's flying by. I apologize if I'm not going to be able to get to all the questions in the chat tonight, just because of the circumstances of this special live stream here.
We could go for 4 hours. I mean,
I'm up for it. I'm here now. I'm awake. I'm still awake.
Well, that is the one good thing is I guess I could technically leave if I need to for a little while, and then just let this keep going. And whoever is the last man standing.
Keep everybody going. Yeah.
Like you guys all laugh and joke that I'm not awake for the live stream on Friday. I'm dead serious. I'm not awake for the live stream on Friday. If I am, that's like it's a party.
That's what
Hey Dan, when Shibe was at your house, you left the live stream and he had it on autopilot there for a little while. I remember.
that was definitely a classic. That was. Why isn't the
Yeah,
chair
you
moving
guys-
anymore?
You guys definitely pulled one over my eyes there.
Yeah. So, just quick, I will address. I don't know who asked it last week, but Andrew, do you have any info on the new processor?
Yeah. We tried out the new hydraulic system there earlier in the week, and I wasn't terribly happy with it. So we're gonna try a different pump on it. The machine's all together and it runs, it works, but like we want to try and get it as good as we can. So we're gonna test a different pump out on it. We were running a piston pump on it, and the problem with the piston pump is with the gas motor, we can't run it fast enough to get all the horsepower out of the motor. So we're going to go back to a gear pump system on. We should have it probably in the next couple of weeks. So it's pretty well close to the end of it. And it's other than that, it turned out really, really nice. I'm really impressed with it. But we just have to do a few more adjustments on it before we go to market with it. The nice thing about going with the other pump system is it's quite a bit easier for us to get our hands on. So production units will start to come out a lot sooner than anticipated with that system, where the piston pumps they're a little bit trickier to get your hands on. You need to have the supply chain all set up and rolling and kind of forecasted, where the other way it's a lot more dynamic, a lot more flexible on that end of it. So
Excellent. And is there any the name, the Evo? What is the significance of that? It's like the
I don't know.
evolution.
That's a total Gage thing. That's all Gage. He's a Japanese car guy. That's all I can say.
I will tell you this. The Evo is a Harley Davidson engine that stopped production in 1998, I believe. So that's the Evolution nicknamed the Evo was a Harley Davidson engine.
Well, look at that. We got some Screaming Eagles.
Interesting. Nice. Yeah, that's why I was kind of making a guess with like the evolution, kind of, I don't know.
That's what Gage was thinking about, was the evolution. Like, we've done a lot of things on the processor to make it work really, really nice. Like the splitter speed on it's going to be like unmatched. Like, it's going to be a lot faster than else in the market. The in-feed chain setup's the same as what's on the 40C, that twin chain setup, so you can run pretty well whatever you want through it. The power of the splitter, the saw setup on it, like the way we have the saw pivot set up is a really good setup. So there's a lot of things on it that we've just learned over the years, and it's same kind of idea when we redesigned the Bell's processors. Is we kind of picked out all the things that people liked and got rid of all the things they didn't like, and built a machine out of it after years of doing it, right? So that's sort of what we've got with the Evo, and it's going to come at a really nice price point too. It's going to be between $50,000 and $55,000 US. So it's going to hit the market in a really good spot, where I think it's going to fill the void for a commercial splitter and a full size processor for a lot of guys.
Yeah. Will the Evo run the 6-way or the 16-way? The hardworking man wants to know.
Yeah, we're hoping it will. I don't see why it won't. Like, we have the only reason we can't run it on the 2228 and 37D is just because the trough design on the back of the horizontal splitters isn't that favorable for it. But on the Evo, it's completely wide open, the same as what the bigger processors are. So there'd be no reason why we can't run it.
All right. Well, I'm just scanning the chat. I don't know if you guys have been watching the chat at all. If you've seen anything that you want to answer, just chime in.
I might have enough beer for 4 hours of live stream. It'll be close. It'll be close.
How many Dr. Peppers do you have, Joe?
I got a whole refrigerator full.
Oh, all right. And what do you have, Brad? What is? Oh,
No,
there's
he's good.
Matt.
Oh, he's good.
I'm
He
good.
says.
Although you don't want to get in the shape that you were in. What was it? 2 live streams ago that you had?
Last live stream when Chaz was here.
Yes. Did
I think
you
sure you
Chaz,
went through,
Chaz is in the
figure out your
chat now.
raffle?
I'm sure you went
Oh, yeah.
through that.
So we're going to talk about that next Thursday night. Thank you to Heath from Hardworking Man and Rachel. They pinch hit for me last night because I had family up from Virginia on the normal live stream night. So they did their 25K celebration last night, and I'm going to make up for my missed live stream this coming Thursday. So we'll talk a bit
Yes.
more about the raffle then.
Congrats again, hardworking man. And I just figured, Brad, that when I asked you to be on this live stream tonight, you couldn't handle 2 in a row, so that's why you switched it up.
Dan. I'm going to keep it clean.
All right, I'm going to scan the chat. If you have any questions in the chat, put a Q in front of it. That does help me. And then just, if you need to direct it to like Bob or Joe or Shibe, anyone, just do that so I know who to ask the question of. Colleen,
Andrew, there's a question for you about hydraulic cylinders on the new Ultras.
On the new Ultras?
Yes.
Yeah, we haven't really done a whole lot with the cylinders. We had a bad run of them there for a wee bit, like on the Ultras where we had a couple of them go bad on us, and it was something we chased around for a wee bit. But I don't think there'd be any issues with them going forward here. So.
Neighbor Doug, I don't know if we want to bring that up. Or not. Even though that's how I did introduce him tonight. I hope you didn't mind that little joke, Andrew. I was just joking. So what instead of looking back now, what coming up in 2025? We'll start with Joe this time. Mr. Ohio Woodburner, what are you looking forward to in the new year?
We are okay. So Ohio Woodburner, the Firewood delivery service is growing, and our sales are up. We're pushing 30% sales increase over the previous year. Things are looking pretty good. And the new wood yard has paid off because we're actually getting supply. We're getting our logs in. But I still have this thing called the International Firewood Expo, and there is going to be a significant change to it, a good change, and it's going to be moved to a different venue. But I gotta get, like the event that we had this year was great. It just felt awesome, but that was because it was kind of like an intimate setting. And when we get moved to where we're going to go, we could just get swallowed by this place. So I can't. We got to get a lot more of the manufacturers to come in, which we were able to. I spoke to a lot of them at the Paul Bunyan show. I've been talking with a lot on the email, but at least the 14 vendors that came to this year's edition back in May, they have all committed to coming back again, and we've been bringing in a bunch of new manufacturers that are going to be bringing machines from long distances coming. And with the international element of it too, we have a number of manufacturers in Europe coming, possibly from the UK. I'm looking at you, Bob. And with certain processors made in different European countries, that not just the U.S. dealer will be coming, but people from their home office and their country of origin. That is the big deal. So I still have a business to run, but then I got to start working on advertising this deal. The I I have to rent this place, so my expenses went up. Like when I was belly aching over the 2 porta potties that I had to rent. So now I got to rent the entire grounds. I gotta have a sizable insurance rider. We still have to have bathrooms, and I still got to have logs. So the big deal with this year was I thinned my yard out going into the expo because I had to make room for this big Easton made processor that showed up. And I had a bunch of logs that had to get gone. So a lot of the wood that I was processing, I was taking back to my house just to thin out my yard so we had more room. And that really hurt because then, it's like, where are all my logs at? I wasn't buying logs to keep that pile down, so we had more room too. This year, with it being at a different location, just adds new challenges because I got to get logs over there. And when the event will be held in May, it's when, at least here in our part of the country, the woods are shut down for all the logs being hauled out because it's too muddy. So I'm going to have challenges with that. But I just want to make sure we can get everyone to come in, have fun, and this is something that I've felt that's what the firewood industry deserves. It's what the firewood industry needs. Our own trade show with just firewood machines and people. I thought this last edition was awesome, and that's where talking with you guys and all, it gave me the motivation to make this thing bigger.
Well, I for one definitely appreciated the intimate setting of your woodyard, but I think the bigger venue will do good. I think I don't think I'm alone when I say that. I think that's what a lot of people enjoyed about that show.
When you say what,
Yeah.
which part are you alone for? Because I don't.
Well, it's just all kinds of stuff that was going
Well,
on.
at this show this year, I looked up. The police were out there on the highway directing traffic, and so they were not upset with me or anything. But that's just the kind of stuff that I'm a little squeamish about.
Yeah.
And this is still the property owner's place, and he's been very generous with everything. But it's just something that's just causes me anxiety. I probably worry about stuff that I shouldn't be worrying about. But we're going to try and give us an opportunity to grow even more at this new location. So I will be doing some videos coming up here in the next couple weeks and giving some updates. I'll run down a list of all of the people that will be coming. That has at least signed on for right now, and that list will continue to grow.
And you'll have all that at internationalfirewoodexpo.com, right?
Yeah, so we do. We have the website, guys. Everyone's welcome to get on it, internationalfirewoodexpo.com. And that video that was produced by the state of Ohio came, and we had the Tourism Bureau was there, and that's who did that video that a lot of these guys had showed up in. Andrew was a movie star in this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we had an absolute blast down there. That was probably the funnest show that I've done, and I think what Dan said is it was intimate. Like, it was a small show. It was geared totally towards firewood. So somebody that was interested in that, it was such a good, and it was such a good turnout of people. Like, it wasn't like there were a lot of people there, but it wasn't like the Paul Bunyan show with that many people. But everybody that was there was interested in firewood. Everybody that was there was interested in the different YouTube channels and how people do things and why people do a certain thing. And it was nice to have, like, for us manufacturers, like, it was nice to have everybody there. Like, you could literally walk 10 feet and go and look at a different machine if somebody wanted to do that. And, like, we have such a blast together all the time. Like, when we did the Friday night live stream there in the hotel, like, I had a blast with you guys. We had an awful pile of fun doing that.
Yeah. And all of the manufacturers there, they all were excited about the sales because everyone was selling machines. And that's what I had thought about a trade show like this in the spring, especially for firewood, it just seems to me that's when people want to buy their machines, because in the fall at the Paul Bunyan, a lot of times people are done with their firewood for the year. In the spring, I mean, people were selling, Bob sold machines, Andrew sold machines that go fast. They sold all 6 of theirs that they brought. So everyone was real excited about that. And that, I think, is one of the selling points, for this whole thing, is that people came there with a purpose, and a lot of people were shopping.
Yeah. All right, Brad, before you get into your 2025 plans,
A lot
just
of
so
questions.
everyone knows, if you see you're not seeing things, I do have orange cream mixed with the Morgan tonight.
We
It is
thought
a
you were
dream.
drinking wine. Sam and I thought you were a wino tonight.
Yeah, let's talk about that glass you got in your hand tonight. I mean, I don't know what's going on, if you're going
Just for
broke
you.
on us or what, but
Just for
something's
you.
going on here. I don't know. I don't know if you continue down this road, I might not be able to participate in these games anymore. You got a lot of questions. You got a lot of questions back there you might want to get to before I go.
Well,
Around the Yard had a good one I saw there.
oh my, it might be.
It was something along the lines of, it was for Bob and Andrew, what was their favorite machine in their respective line of products and why?
Oh, all right. Well, Bob.
So that's a loaded question. I guess for my personal use, my favorite machine is the HO from our lineup, and that's what I have. And the reason is because we have, in my area, the diameter of logs that we get is 8 to 12 inch. So I'm doing everything one push through a 6-way wedge, and I'm good to go. But if I was somewhere where it would be bigger stuff, then it would be a 17 VS for sure. If I was getting tree service wood or stuff that was 2 foot in diameter all the time. But that's a question. That's a good question, because some people will call and just ask, like, what's the best splitter, and you really got to figure out what they're running through at first.
Right. If you were just doing stuff around the yard, you might want that 17 VS C.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Well, Andrew, what about you?
Like, and the entire lineup, like, I really like the 40C. If you've never seen that Firewood processor run, that thing is absolutely, it's incredible. It's an absolute animal. Easiest thing you'll ever run. It runs itself. It was a lot of work to get to that point where it had that level of automation and consistency. But if you're in the firewood business making wood and you're looking for something, you don't need a great machine if you're not into large diameter stuff. That thing is absolutely incredible. Like, in terms of splitters, I'm with Bob on it. Like, you really have to find out what the guy is doing with and what he wants to. Like, if you're doing production and want a fast machine, like, you're gonna, like, horizontal is the way to go. If you're doing large diameter tree service stuff, like a box wedge on a 2228 or 37D is gonna do you really well if you're doing really high pressure, high volume. If you're into doing more precise wood, if you're doing wood that needs to be pretty, needs to be perfect, and you want to be able to split around and not, the vertical machine's the way to go. And whether it be mine or Bob's or Power Split or whoever you have there, like that would be the solution to that. And there's lots of different opinions on it. And it really depends on the guy's.
Oh yeah.
This is my splitting machine right here. This is what I take every time.
Oddly enough, I have one just like it in my office.
Dan's the guy. Dan is the guy in the comments section of mine and Andrew's videos saying, "I'm faster with an axe."
I'm faster with an axe.
I've done that video and it's not true.
Yeah. Usually
right,
when you
Brad.
ask them to show you that, they don't do it. So
We'll bounce back to you, Brad, and then we'll hit Shibe up. What do you got going in 2025 you're looking forward to?
So Joe is not going to like what I have to say here first up, but I'm looking forward to no longer stacking my firewood. We're making big bins, and we are going to be conveying everything into piles. Chris from In the Wood Yard assures me it will work, and I've talked to several other people and done it. You all right there, Dan?
That happened to me a minute ago too.
Hey, he's drinking out of a wine glass, and now he's choking on something, so I'm not sure what's going on. But anyway, yeah, so I'm looking forward to see how that works out. As far as the fellowship goes, we are going to do that again. We are pushing it back. As you know, in the past 2 years, we've done it in January. But to hopefully encounter some better weather and have a chance for some better weather, we're probably going to look at like late spring, early summer. A date is not nailed down yet, but I'll be talking with Andrew to see what his schedule looks like to try to get a good lineup of Easton-made equipment there again, like we had last year, and give everybody a chance to put their hands on that stuff and see what we can get done. So not
you are doing this.
Yes, we will be doing it. Just it's just going to be delayed a little bit.
All right.
So that's what I'm looking forward to.
And just so you've thought this through, you do realize when you put it in a bin, when you load it, you have to touch every piece.
Not if you have a grapple truck.
Oh. I tell you, you lazy firewood guys. Speaking of lazy firewood guys, Shine, what do you have going on?
Lazy is my name this year. I've been pretty lazy this year. But next year, I'm looking to up at least my production to 2 times what I did last year, which wasn't much. So we'll go 2 times what I did the previous year. So like I'm all but out of firewood right now. So I need to up my production, and the 1222 is going to do great with the attachment. That is to be seen yet. So with that being said, you probably know what it is. But not only that, I'm looking forward to the shows, meet and greets. I'm looking forward to Hope. Hope is a great event. A lot of people come together for a great cause to split wood so they can make a profit to run the Hope event or the Hope House. So that's probably, other than Bunyan, that's probably the greatest event. I mean, if you want to go and actually do work for a purpose, do that one. Do that event.
I will go and watch you do the work, Shibe. I'll do that.
Well, we will all like you to come and make a great video.
I'll say this. I'll say this about Hope: many hands make for light work, and there's many people there, so you don't feel like you're working a whole day. Everybody's motivated because it's for such a good cause.
Yeah. Last year we did 56 cord or something. So this year, and that was in a day's time. So this year's there's going to be a lot more wood there, a lot more equipment, a lot more people. So I can see us possibly doubling that amount at the Hope event, which is going to be freaking awesome.
Holy molies. That's going to be a big pile of wood.
Yes. Yep. I mean, I like getting out there and actually meeting the people. I mean, I'll show off the equipment. I mean, talk about the equipment, everything. But for me, a lot of it just getting out there and talking with people and getting to know the people. You know what I mean? So I like that.
Any roadside logging coming up?
Oh, you betcha. You betcha. I still
got betcha. Oh, you betcha.
Yeah, a little bit of Wisconsin coming out, I tell you what.
All right, Bob, you're up. 2025.
Okay. 2025, what I'm looking forward to?
Yeah, or what? Yeah. And you want to throw out a resolution, go ahead.
I don't know if I really have a resolution, but we did the Firewood Frenzy this year at Wolf Ridge, and then it was a really good turnout, even though it rained probably 3 days before and 3 days after, and of course the day of. Yeah, because you were there. Okay, well, so we're gonna do that again. And I've already got the date live on our website in the events tab, and we're looking to make it bigger than it was last year, and hopefully that should be a lot of fun again. And aside from that, we've got some other stuff in the works for 2025 at Wolf Ridge, and the Fuelwood stuff kicked off really well. We have more of those machines arriving here in March, and then we have one of the bigger machines arriving later in the year from them. So that should be fun too.
What is the date of the frenzy? Do you have it off the top of your head?
Let me visit the events tab of the website quick. I think it's the 21st of June.
June 21st.
Yeah, I want to double check because I don't want to say it wrong here. June 21st, 2025. Yes.
June 21st. All right, Firewood Frenzy. Mark it down.
Yes, mark your calendars.
And Andrew, I think you've already touched on one thing, but is there anything else the new year is going to bring?
We have the Evo coming up, which should be a fairly quick and simple one in the coming weeks here. But the one thing that really surprised me this year, the reason I wasn't at Hope this year, was that we were actually over at the APF Expo in the UK. And it turns out that is an absolutely incredibly large market. That was the biggest logging show I've ever been to by far. Probably 2 or 3 times the size of Paul Bunyan. The show was huge. And we have a dealer in the Netherlands right now that's starting to move a lot of gear for it too. So we're going to start expanding into some new markets over there. And in terms of looking forward to stuff, they're just coming out doing the shows. Like that is the best part of this job, is going out and talking to people and meeting people, because there's so many great people in this community. Like whether they be YouTubers or customers or people that just like looking at the equipment and want to have a visit. Like that is the best part of the job, is the people involved and the people you get to meet and who you get to see. And it's a lot of fun for us because we get to see people from all over the country, like from every different walk of life, again, going back to the UK thing, that was hilarious. I didn't had rednecks in the UK, but apparently there's lots of them. So it was a lot of fun to just expanding and exploring and meeting new people. But that's the best part of the whole thing.
Nice.
Do they have large wood in the UK?
They have service wood. It was pretty interesting flying into Heathrow, into London, because flying in, I wasn't sure where they were going to get a tree for us to split. Because there wasn't many, and there's just little patches of them. There's not. I think going back to Brad coming to Canada here, we were over in the UK, and I can't remember what the biggest plot of land or bush was. It was like 40,000 acres or something, and it was it's just like a tiny little sliver here. So it was kind of cool to do that and see that anyways. So
yeah, that I in that show that they do over there is like every other year or something, isn't it?
Yes, it's every second year. Yeah, it's every second year. And the other neat thing about it too is there's not really any. There's no big equipment. Like at the Paul Bunyan show, you see big kippers, you see big feller bunchers, skidders, stuff like that. Like there was not a lot of equipment there. If you didn't do it with a tractor, then they didn't do it.
Little boss man just came in to tell me that the yard is flooded with water from all the rain we've been getting.
Yeah.
Guess we won't have to fill a pool next year.
'Tis the season.
Yeah, you want to come up here and say hi?
No.
Oh,
How does it taste?
I was tonight he had a bottle of cream soda with his pizza, and he poured it in this glass, and I said, "Geez, that looks like beer." And then I said something about just wait till you get a taste of your first beer. And he goes, "Oh, well, Shive gave me a taste last year when I was out in Pennsylvania." happened?
I don't believe it.
No, that's completely out of character, Shibe.
Yeah.
Just like this one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
How could you?
Yeah. Neighbor Doug was wondering how he can donate to the Hope event, and I don't know if that's been set up yet or not. I don't know if you guys, Brad or Shibe or anybody, if you know.
Ken's in here. York Firewood's in here.
Is he
Yeah,
gonna
I see
have
Ken
like
come
a?
across here. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he'll have something set up, or just maybe get a hold of somebody that you know is going, and then because don't you do like a raffle at the event?
Yeah, they did last year. They had some stuff that that people donated that they raffled off, but I think it's going to be quite a bit bigger this year. Ken's in here. I'm going to let Ken answer those questions because I don't want to say something wrong or direct somebody the wrong way. But I know that Jack from Log Cabin Firewood is helping Ken out a good bit with that. Shive has his hand in it. You know, I'm doing my own little thing here to try to do a raffle, but that's separate from the actual event. So I would say let Ken work all those details out.
Oh my, we got to bring out the ladies because Blandford's tree just dropped a bomb. So get ready for sensory overload because there is a lot of ladies coming on the screen right now. Hang on. And there's we got Brad coming up, but thank you very much, Blandford's tree, Chaz, and everyone. Cheers. The ladies are swinging and dancing.
Don't ever do that again.
Oh boy.
Shibe is dancing too.
What's that?
Oh crap!
Chaz, you should have came over. You should have came over here tonight.
Yeah. We could have hammered out that raffle.
He might not be allowed over here after last time.
If you buy 3 tickets, you get 2 entries, and the 1 entry is worth 2 more tickets. If you buy another third and you get the 4th, the 5th is drawn, and then you. Oh my goodness. We got another one coming down. Hang on. We won't bring the ladies out for this because.
Because it was Joe? That's not nice.
We'll put this.
Hey, what am I? Chopped liver?
This is like really big.
I'll put it right on my face.
Yeah. The panelist in the green shirt is very interesting. Cheers, everyone.
Notice he didn't say hobbyist.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was going to say good looking, but I'm pretty modest.
How many cords do you need or sell for the Hope event? Is it just
As many as they can.
as many as they can make? They end up selling it all, right?
Well, they sold out this year, so.
Oh, and look who else. Cheers, Chaz. All right. Oh boy, now we're getting.
I need to go grab the glass.
Thank you, Shibe. Put your phone away.
I actually used a computer that time, so.
Hey, Shibe, stop texting at the table.
Oh, well, man, oh man, it's already 50 minutes into this thing. I missed the bottom of the hour and everything.
Yeah, and you're not paying attention to any of the questions either, Dan.
Well, it's difficult because
I know it's moving really fast.
one question for all of you to answer takes, a little time. So
Yeah.
But I can see this going for 4 hours, so I think we're good.
I do not see this going for 4 hours. Is the sound still going?
Okay. 3 hours and 59 minutes.
Oh my. This one now I got to put over top of your name. Hang on. Thank you very much. Everyone, this is for you out there. Cheers.
I'm just glad it's not ramen eggnog tonight.
What do you have there in your hands?
Guinness.
That is the most delicious beer in the
Oh.
world.
That is, yeah, I can't. Uh-oh. All right.
WD-30, Shibe, look at your request here.
Just wait, because Arnie wants the ladies to come out.
Okay.
So the ladies are coming back. Arnie, just for you. Watch
Holy
out!
crap!
Don't get hit, Andrew.
Super chops are running in now.
I might change that your sound effect for that slap. All right, this is a little too much. When I first put that together, it looked a lot better.
Yeah, there's a lot
It's
going
funny
on there.
because I don't know how it is on your end of it, but like on my screen, it's all grainy. So
Dude,
it
mine
just
is-
looks like a blur going across.
Yeah, it's a big potato. It's
Yeah,
just
there's a lot. There's a
Oh,
lot.
that girl
see
just
what's-
hit you right in the mouth, Andrew.
Well,
She looked all right. I'm not going to complain.
he must have some.
Be up there.
All right, WD-30. Wait, I'm gonna put these things right here.
no. Dan, are you getting flustered?
It's a lot going. Oh my freaking goodness! WD-30. Thank you very much, Chibe, to chug a beer. All right, Shibe,
Oh.
finish it.
He doesn't need. I was gonna say he probably doesn't need the super chat to make that happen.
Oh my God, he's got a
I'm
glass.
chugging all night.
You're
I've been
drinking
chugging
out of a
those.
glass?
We just filled up the glass.
Uh-oh.
We just filled the glass with the glass.
That's not a chug.
This is, yeah, you got to
Oh,
do
yeah,
it now.
I apologize.
This is getting a little ridiculous. Blandford Street, Chaz. Holy shit.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you very
Dan
much.
language.
Cheers. Everyone raise it up for that right there. Oh my God.
That wasn't fair.
This is clean beer.
Is there anything you guys here, the five of you, want to just bring up or mention or? Oh wait, we got one more. Who's that girl in the white top next to Joe?
I think she's got a twin that's between me and Shad.
Old guy Firewood. Thank you very much. All right,
I got something.
all right.
All right. Has Donald Slate, I think he's in here tonight. But he sent me a couple of things to do for the you all right, Shad?
I apologize.
All right. You're forgiven. He sent me something that I had never seen before. Maybe you have, but this is new to me. Has anybody ever seen a ratcheting scrunch?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I've never seen one of these, but he sent me this to do for the raffle we're going to do. And I think that's pretty cool.
That's
Wow,
amazing.
Wait.
very
Yeah,
nice.
I've never seen one, so I figured I'd show everybody that.
That is pretty cool. Have you used it yet?
No, it's a giveaway. I'm not using it. This is going to be one of the raffle items when we do the raffle. So there'll probably be like 15 or 20 things. So that's one of them.
That's
Nice.
a 13 mil on one side and 19 on the other, right? So steel
Yeah.
and husky. Yeah.
Yep.
Use it on
Yeah.
the other.
Varsity and JV.
All right, we got everyone raise up one more time. Cliff, Circle B, thank you very much. I'm gonna have to get some more ice balls. But anyway, just around the horn, any quick hitters, you guys, anything for 2024, 2025 questions for the chat, for each other. Wow, you guys are just
Joe, I have a question for Joe.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go.
Are you awake?
I'm a live wire.
All right. No, I'm just reading something here.
Yeah, I'm looking back for a question too.
We missed quite a few.
Yeah. But
Well,
Brad,
Michael
I don't get
Behan is
behind in the chat
asking, what is the next big innovation going to be in firewood equipment? That's a pretty good question.
Well, I've got that on my list as well for the
All right.
wrap up here. So Brad, go ahead and.
What was that?
I said, go ahead with what you were going to ask Joe.
Oh, no,
I was awake.
I was just asking if he was awake, but I saw that Ken had posted something in here. I saw that Ken had posted something in here about a limit on the amount of wood that we can process due to space at the Hope event, and I'm trying to find that.
Well, wouldn't that depend on how high a conveyor that you have?
Oh, here we go. 80 to 85 cords. He said they're going to have
a lot.
Yeah.
But you guys said you did 50 something last year?
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot more equipment there this year. I know, just based on some information that we got at Paul Bunyan this year and some contacts that were made at Paul Bunyan. People have committed to bring equipment that we didn't have last year, so we're definitely going to up it.
How cool would it be to limit out on that?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
With back to your comment, Brad, about many hands. If you stack that wood, you could easily fit way more.
Well, Joe and his high school kid can come and stack it all for us.
Yeah, he would too.
I need a couple of those boys, man. He's a good worker.
I'm looking for his uncle. His uncle is on this chat a lot, but I don't see him on here tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw him go by or not. But that is one thing, I guess, just before we go into officially overtime, is there anything you guys see or want to see for the firewood industry happen in 2025? Any predictions? Whoever wants to take it, go ahead and take it.
Predictions.
Dan, starting with you.
Well, I will make this. I'll lead off this. I will say in 2025, smaller wood is going to be the in thing.
I'm told that quite often.
Yeah.
I think
small like what you make, or small as in shorter?
12 inch.
Like European firewood.
Remember when we were at, Dan, I think you were with me when we were at Joe's international event. When we went to the grocery store, they had a bunch of normal 16-inch lengths, but then they had 12-inch cut length, and it was like 80% more money, and it was less wood. And I thought that was quite interesting to see in Youngstown, Ohio. So I don't know who the target was for that wood, but that had to be almost 11 or 12 inch, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. It was under 12.
The target are people who want shorter wood.
We have a couple of really large national parks here, and there's guys that have contracts to supply the national parks with firewood, and all of it is short. All of it is short. 10, 12-inch stuff, almost all. Because they don't want it. They want it to burn fast and quick and burn out. That's kind of the idea behind it. And it's got to fit inside a certain square for it to be acceptable. It's got to be, I want to say, like a 3.5 by 3.5 square. It has to actually fit through, and then it's a short length. So we get that quite a bit here. Like a standard stove, 16-inch, same as anywhere else. But for firewood like that, we see a pile of that here in the parks.
Well, and you'd see too, like Andrew, when you were in the UK, it's crazy how short they cut their freaking firewood. Like,
Oh, it's nuts. Like, I can see why
yeah,
an automated splitter like the Kindle splitter 400s and stuff like that Fuelwood makes, like why that will be required there.
But then
Because
they look at 16-inch here. It's like, what is that?
And then
But I
like,
was
it's
in-
weird. It's weird too. Like going from here to there, like them splitting that wood, like it doesn't stack. Like I'm sorry, Joe, it just doesn't stack. Like, you can't stack a piece of wood that's that long.
Yeah. No, it's just yeah.
When I was in Colorado at Kyle's place, MK High Country Firewood, they used the V pack. He switched to 12-inch firewood because they couldn't get the V pack at that time to run a 16-inch log. But when he did 12-inch, it created more sales and more profit for him, and he wasn't expecting that. He thought it was an inconvenience, but he was able, the way that the wood stacked on pallets, because everything he gets is shipped, they could get more units on pallets and were making more money. I don't think they were charging what you saw, out this way, Bob, but he makes more money with it. And that's because of packing and shipping.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Well, real quick, somebody did ask a couple times, what diameter log will the new processor, the Evo, take, Andrew? How big?
It's gonna take 22 inch. So it's still gonna take a large piece of wood. Like for us to make it do a 16-inch piece of wood versus a 22-inch piece of wood on a chainsaw machine, it's not that difficult. Like, it's just a matter of making the trough a little bit wider or having a longer barrel. I mean, a circular saw is a different story because you're dealing with like the saw needs to be so big in order to cut a big piece of wood. Like our 60C, we advertise it at 23. It can do more than that, but with a chainsaw type processor, there's no need for it to do less than that. You may as well have it do the capacity. And that way, if you have a crook or a twist in it, or a knot, or something like that, it's still going to go through with ease, right? So,
Yep. All right. We got Shibe. The stoves and boilers are getting more efficient, so smaller wood is going to sell.
Shibe.
Thank you for that. Cheers. Are you? Oh, he's refilled. Does that mean Shibe, that you're looking at a boiler?
Well, yeah. I've been looking at a boiler.
Easton Maine has to make one first.
Easton made a boiler. I mean, Easton, you're going to do firewood. You might as well make a boiler.
yeah. Well, it's funny too, Dan. Like, you asked about the innovation or what's going to happen in 2025, and it's really hard to say because, like, I think Bob will agree with me. Like, the fun thing about this is that there's obviously a rivalry between Easton and Wolfridge, and it's really cool because the customer wins it. The people that are building, that are buying the equipment, are the people that win from it. Because if one guy does better than the next guy, they just do better the next time. You know what I mean? So like the level of innovation that's in this industry, and what we can do, because it's not like we're both small companies. So like for us to prototype stuff and get it to market and get it to a customer, it doesn't take near as long as if we're huge corporation. Because in both instances, there's only a couple of guys calling the shots in both businesses to make stuff happen. So the innovation this year's could be almost endless. Because last year was awesome. Like with the with the release of that 17 VS, that really made us step our game up. That's an awesome machine. So like, and like we found that even with the smaller splitter of the building with a conveyor on the back, that's a nice machine, a nice package for the price of it. So I think that's the fun part, especially for a consumer, is that both companies, all the companies, whether it be us or Wolfridge or Brute Force or Dine or whoever it is, we just continue to try and do better and try to get ahead of the next guy. And that's a cool part of it. That's a fun part of it. That's like the sport of it, really. So
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It is fun to I think that everybody ends up pushing each other to do better, right? Like, and just like you said, the person that wins is the customer, because the reality is right now, when the customers go to these shows, like Paul Bunyan, for example, they've got a lot of damn good products to look at and pick from, from a lot of different brands. And I think there's some out there that don't, that are just kind of going with whatever they've had. But, as time goes on, if you're not growing, you're dying, right? Like, if you're not innovating and listening to the customers, which I think that all of us in this chat are, that's a big thing. That's important.
And that's kind of, I think, the other thing is that you've got, you have to like push the envelope, but you also have to listen to the customer and what's
right,
what's being asked for, what's being, demanded out there. I mean, we're still waiting for one of you two to, come out with the stacking machine, something that
Andrew can have that one.
Firewood.
Need a poof
I'm
machine.
gonna let Bob perfect it, then I'll follow his lead.
No, I said you can have it. You can do it. That's fine.
All right, I don't know if I'm not even. I'm way behind on the chat, but
My cast, what tool would you want to take with you?
but we're in overtime,
You said
so
chive.
we're in
Okay.
overtime. Cheers.
Cheers.
Sam just brought up the one podcast that you and Joe did, and you said, or somebody asked a question, what tool would you take to a deserted island? And one of you two said shive.
Yes,
Yes,
that is the
Yes.
correct answer.
Yep.
that is the correct answer.
You got to take beer with you though, with him.
Yeah, shive and a beer truck.
If you only take shive and you don't
Here's my
take beer,
fuel.
you're not really getting shive.
This is my fuel. There was like, oh, drink more water. There's water in my beer. I mean, it's 95% water.
The first time I ever met Shibe in person, he showed up at my house at 10 o'clock in the morning. He got out of the passenger side of the truck and had a beer in his hand. He was there all day long. He left that night. He spent the night in a hotel. He came back the next morning, had a beer in his hand. And then when he left at like 5 p.m. to go home, he had a beer in his hand. I never saw him once without a beer.
Beer and coffee. That is my fuel.
That's when same thing when he was here, and then we like did a whole bunch of stuff, and I was like, all right, that's plenty now. Let's just call it a day. And he's like, oh no, we got a pile of logs over there. Let's keep going.
To what? You.
Oh, all right. So, how long of an overtime do we want to have? Holy crap!
All
There's-
night long.
3 hours, Dan. We already decided it.
We
All
can
right.
go for another 2 hours, obviously.
Four
Yeah.
more beers.
That's
I
not
really
gonna happen.
haven't got much going on now. Like it's Christmas holidays here, so
There's a refill right there.
Hey,
Well,
Dan,
Yes.
there was earlier outside with Mom and the boys asked me about, I know they ordered a splitter from us. She asked if she could bring some junk wood when they come to pick it up. So I said the answer is yes. I actually have a funny story because we were at the Green Bay show this year, and I don't know, Andrew, did you get your logs from the showgrounds, or did you get them like sourced from somewhere else?
no, we got them sourced from we bought them from a local logger there because we've done the Great Lakes before where they've got the wood was always like really, really small stuff.
Dude, yeah.
And like
Yeah,
when you run like a
like
commercial
this.
splitter through a piece of wood like that,
Like, yeah. Yeah.
like
So-
they were better off to have aluminum ingots, and then we would have been good to go. We
Yes,
would have
yes.
showed people what the machines were all about.
So this year now when I was doing the Yappa stuff, that would have been perfect, right? But this year we got the logs and they were like 6 to 8 inch diameter. And I'm like, yeah, just like you said, this really shows the power of the machines, you know. So somebody, it was actually this Outside with Mom and the Boys. She sent us a contact form on the website and said, "Hey, I heard that you guys have like really small diameter stuff there. Do you want us to bring some like big stuff?" So I said, okay. So they brought a whole bunch of like ash tree service stuff, which was really cool because we had a big pile of like junk there then, you know, to show some real world stuff. So that ended up just kind of being a cool story, I thought, and it was neat of them to bring that stuff. And
I
that
see
was
what
like,
you mean.
yeah, because like some of the guys had the big they had big circle saw machines like what Andrew would have, but then they're putting 6 inch diameter through it. It's like it doesn't really show the machines, you know, what it can do.
Right.
When we go to these shows,
that show, the Great Lakes show, like I remember the first time I showed up to do, I think maybe we were up there with the Bell's processors the first time we were up there, and they brought us wood like that, and it's like we wouldn't even think about splitting this wood. Like it wouldn't
Right.
even be like it would be pulp, or it would just be pushed over the side. Like you wouldn't.
yeah,
Like, we wouldn't even look at the stuff.
yeah, and it's like you never know. I mean, now after being at the shows and you know different events, you kind of know like what region is going to have what, right? But like, because like when I went to Paul Bunyan with Yappa stuff, it was like everything was at the bigger end, or sorry, let's say like it would barely fit in the machine, you know. And
it would be a pain in the ass for the machine because like to run that stuff through the app, it's not really designed to do that. But if you're in that stuff like you get at the Escanaba show or the Great Lakes,
Right.
like that stuff it's designed to do is that stuff that's like 4 to 10 inches, and that stuff it absolutely flies, and they're incredible to watch working that stuff. Where the bigger stuff, it just doesn't show them well, right? And same as our splitters. If you've got little stuff going through the splitters, people don't want to see that. They want to see at least something of some size, or at least the option to do that. If they're there to see the machine work, they want to see it work, right? So
right, yeah.
At,
and it's
at
like,
the international Firewood Expo, we're importing Australian concrete kryptonite Schwarzenegger.
yeah, that might be better
75
than aluminum
inches.
ingots. Andrew, I think the Australian wood is harder than the aluminum ingots. In the comments, that's usually what I see, is that Australian is like the hardest of all wood.
It absolutely has to be like that. I've heard that lots, and like we've sent machines to Australia with pretty good success. So I don't see what's so much different about it. Like
that is the major.
Yeah, but will it split the Australian wood?
On the southern states, like I think like Florida, for example, live oak.
Yeah,
live oak rotten to split. It is probably one of the worst woods to split. You get over further west, you get into mesquite and pecan and the nut trees.
Mesquite is terrible. Mesquite doesn't have a straight section for more than 4 inches. Like you can't.
No, it doesn't. It's just like splitting a knot. It's just a mess. There's a reason why they're smoker.
Yeah, exactly.
4 inches or less. That sounds a lot like the Firewood community right there.
Oh yeah,
that's
loads of disappointment.
I always got a kick out of that. Australian hardwood was always brought up. You know, let's see it split Australian hardwood. So one time I replied to a guy and I said, if Australian hardwood is so difficult to split, how do you ever split it? And his response was with an axe.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So if you can split it with an axe, I'm pretty sure a hydraulic splitter can handle it.
But like for the wood splitter market and stuff, that's a really good example of an area where they don't have a lot of really good equipment. Like they have a couple of brands that are building stuff, but like from my perspective and seeing them in person and seeing a couple of different brands, like watch them work. Like they're not built like what we've got. Like for our machines to go down there, like I don't think we'd have any issue doing it. And same as like when you get into Europe and the UK, like, they don't really have machines like what we build in North America. They don't build them. They're well engineered. They're well thought out, but they're not.
Right.
They're not the same industrial heavy duty grade as what we build over here.
But they have all the safety features. You got to have.
They've got all the safety features.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
You
Brad,
gotta have
Australia's-
2 hands to run it.
From what I saw, Australia too, like their output was really small. Like they're going like really short cut lengths and really, you know, like not even necessarily small split sizes, but like short cut lengths, and then they're chunky. It's like it's just weird. To me, it's weird.
And like you gotta like when you shorten a piece of wood from 16 to 10 inches, like it's theoretically half as strong. It's half the length. It should be half the
it's easier
force
to
to
split.
split.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Because like
Brad,
you do see a difference. Like when we build a long stroke machine, like it does take a little more force to push it through something that has like say 32 or 33 inches in length. It takes more force to push it through.
Yeah, for sure.
did you, Brad? Did you address in your video when you answered the question about splitting and selling or selling seasoned wood? Are you upping your goal of cords split? For the year?
That's part of the reason why I'm moving away from stacking is because I want to try to double my production, and theoretically, if I'm not stacking, I can split a cord of wood with the 1222 in the same amount of time it takes me to stack a cord of wood. So I should be able to double production, right?
You're planning on picking it up with the grapple bucket that you have, Brad, and loading it that way?
No, so I'll split it up and send it up the conveyor and pile it in the bins. But then when I go to load it in the trailer for delivery, when it's ready to go, I can scoop it right out of the bins.
Like with the skid steer or with the big grapple?
With the grapple.
Yeah, I've done it with like a standard like log loader grapple, and
No,
it
this
actually doesn't work that bad.
Yeah, so this is a debris bucket, so it's a little wider, and you can really take some big scoops with it.
Yeah, I think you'll find that'll likely work really well for you, and then you're not pulling any dirt off the bottom of the pile either.
Yeah, well, the floor is going to be double stacked pallets, so it'll be off the ground, and however high I can pile it with that conveyor, we'll see. I'll make one pile, then I'll move to another bin, and we'll be able to keep it rotated based on when it was split.
First in, first out, like Joe.
Right, exactly. Except it's not
Look
stacked.
at him. He's just texting there. You know.
The only thing, Brad, with that, the only thing, like, did you have species specific stacks? I think you did.
Yeah.
So
well,
are you getting yours from that also?
The only thing I separate now is cherry.
Okay. All right.
So here's a question, and I asked this in an upcoming video on Sunday. Does firewood season during the winter?
Sure, it does.
Yeah.
It's got sun on it.
Yep.
What if it's 10 degrees? Is the moisture in the wood frozen?
It's weird because I still think it seasons when it's split. I think if you open it up, it's still going to season, in my experience.
I think in the wintertime, it's drier air. Okay?
I think that's probably
that drier air is pulling the moisture out of that wood.
And this is all what we had talked about on our podcast too. This is a testable hypothesis, and this is probably something that the firewood industry needs. We need academia. We need studies done to help us understand, because we all have these brilliant ideas, but we really don't know until it's studied, until it's tested, and that we can determine the best. especially when you look at these new EPA stoves. If you think that these things are the future, because they really do seem to work and they cut down a lot of consumption, which puts an emphasis on dry firewood, which puts an emphasis on production and delivery. And, we're still having debates on, should you leave it in piles or should you stack it? Should you stack it bark up or bark down? And probably, at the end of the day, it's nothing that us normal people would appreciate, but there is a scientific answer out there. We need a wood scientist, Dan.
The reason that it came to my mind was because last weekend it was, I think, 20 degrees. I was driving to Amanda's parents' Christmas party, and I drove by an Amish farm, and out in their yard on the clothesline were a bunch of sheets. I was just going to
say that.
They were drying their sheets, and it was below freezing. So,
I was just going to say that. Like, my grandparents, like, they never really had any kind of a dryer. They'd hang all their clothes, and Grandma would hang it on the clothesline. And like, it wouldn't matter how cold it was. Like, they got up and Folger, Brad. So like, there's nothing up there, right? So that's how the clothes were dried in the middle of winter, was on the clothesline outside. And they still dried fine. Like, you pulled them off and you didn't get that nice, warm, fuzzy feeling like out of the dryer, but they were dry.
All right, I look at like they freeze dry food. You can freeze dry firewood.
Why do we not?
Yeah.
This is going to be intellectual.
We found our scientist.
This would actually make for a nice series, an interesting series that someone should do.
I have a question to ask.
If we stay on this long enough tonight, we'll probably get to the bottom of this.
All right, Brad.
All right, so do you think wood will dry quicker if you cut it and split it in the wintertime when the sap is not running versus in the spring or summertime?
That's a good point, too.
I think it does matter. I've heard that so you're talking about cutting a tree down and then splitting it right after you cut it down, right after you fell it.
Well, but in the winter, the tree is dormant, right?
Well, all the sap and everything in the wintertime, all the sap and everything comes down to the roots.
Right. So that's less moisture in the tree in the wintertime.
You cut the tree, that moisture is no longer in said tree. Obviously, the moisture is lower in the tree. So, yes, it's going to dry quicker.
There's got to be somebody on the live stream here that does maple syrup that can educate us on that.
We get
Is
Nate
Kevin
Bissell
in here tonight?
Yeah. Kevin and Nate Bissell.
Piggybacking off of that, my question is, when does the ring of the tree start a new ring?
When it gets married.
And does it start a ring the same time every year? Like, does it have a birthday?
Yes, it depends.
It's on its birthday, for sure, 100%. That's when it grows the other ring, like, logically.
So it's not like the first freeze. It's not like the first frost. It's like a certain day.
It might also depend on how the tree identifies.
I'm pretty sure it's when the sap starts running.
So we need a moderator in the chat.
Now, wouldn't you laugh, Brad, if the tree started to meow at you?
These are things that cross my mind all the time.
The pussy willow.
Sap in maple trees only running when it's warm. We just had somebody in the chat say that.
Yeah. The worst time to cut a tree is February and March.
Maybe when it warms up, like when it's above freezing, you're gonna have more moisture. Like an air compressor, for example. If you have a really nice refrigeration, if you have a really nice dryer system on your air compressor, it's a refrigerated dryer system. Like it'll drop it to minus 30 before the air comes out to make it denser and make it dry.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where he's going with that, but
I never thought of that.
I have a solution to the problem.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, just cut something else down other than a maple tree, and you're good.
But maple is your favorite firewood.
Yeah, I love maple.
Well,
We
it's
have
funny.
a lot
I was talking to Lowry one time when we were in Vermont. The first time I met Lowry in Vermont, Bob, when you guys were set up next to us there, he was telling me that they tap birch trees.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like birch trees is what you tap over there, like birch syrup. And I thought that was the craziest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to get into. Like birch trees, like come February, March, you can actually see the sap dripping from the branches. Like it's raining, but it's not actually raining. It's the sap is just pushing out so much.
Yeah, birch is wet.
It's pretty ridiculous.
All right. We are almost 90 minutes in.
And we have 90 minutes to go.
We're halfway done.
All right. Well, somebody, I have to go recycle.
Go ahead, Dan.
Morgan.
Go ahead, Dan.
So,
We
you guys,
understand.
somebody converse amongst yourselves.
We'll hold Ford here. We'll hold her down here.
Hold her down.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell him I left.
Okay. I was going to say, how long do you think he's going to be gone? We should all just like duck and wait for him to come back and have all empty screens.
Right now, he's in there saying, Amanda, I promise I'm trying to end this stream, but the guys won't let me. I'm so sorry, Amanda.
I'm just scrolling chat right now. Yep.
Yeah,
Sap
so
and
I
maple
see-
trees only runs when it's warm. Yep. It sure
I
does.
see the Wise Choice Firewood said that they tap black walnut for syrup around there, and Chaz actually told me that he knew somebody that tapped black walnut.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
What do they make from the syrup?
It says also tapping black walnut for syrup around here.
Yeah, but like I've never. Have you ever had black walnut syrup?
I have not.
Have you ever seen it for sale? Is it a medicinal or is it a medical thing? I don't know.
Medicinal?
That's what I wanted to say. Dan.
Merlot?
Black walnut syrup, Dan. Black walnut trees people are tapping.
That was a quick one.
Yeah. Well, they said that somebody in here said that it takes 130 gallons of birch sap to do 1 gallon of syrup.
That's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. That sounds too much like work.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's, what is it, 44 gallons of maple to make maple syrup? 1 gallon of maple?
Yeah, you're 40 to 1 for maple syrup.
Okay.
That's funny.
No idea. I don't know.
Oak syrup.
Start tapping oaks. I don't know what that, I mean.
Oh, no.
Oh, Joe would like some oak syrup, I bet.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It'd be syrup of
Extra
ipecac. That's how they make it.
I'll have some for you, Joe. Come May.
Yeah.
I've seen this question come through a couple times about a dealer in Colorado. Kent Hoffman.
Yeah, possibly in the future, but nothing in the works right now.
Nothing out in the Rocky Mountains.
Not at the moment.
Nothing out there on the West Coast for all the West Coast styrofoam
Well,
logs.
Daniel
Daniel
Gold
Atkins.
Beach, Oregon. We do have a dealer in Oregon.
Oh,
So,
that's right. Yeah.
yeah.
Here's a question. Michael Behan wants to know, what is our earliest memory of doing firewood? Mine was in our 1973 Ford LTD, which would hold 7 cords of wood in its trunk. The LTD stood for Large Trunk Department, and we got forced off the road by a road grader that was plowing and drove us into a ditch, and he pulled us out. And I remember that as vividly as a little kid.
With the large cord in the back.
Yes. 7 cords of wood could fit in the trunk of that car.
Is that full cords or Rick cords?
Or half chords,
Third
quarter
chord.
chord.
Anyone else want to field that one?
Well, I can
We need
remember
a-
when I was a young
We need a
lad.
moderator to bounce someone here.
Who's that?
This Roblox games.
Oh no, they're fine.
They are?
Yeah, they got a lot of
Okay,
love.
I thought it
I
was
was just
spam. I'm
there's
sorry.
all kinds of love there.
They got a lot of love.
Carry
Joe.
on.
Not love.
Carry on. I'm sorry.
Push her button.
I was a young lad, and we pulled an old Army trailer. My neighbors pulled an old Army trailer with a Farmall Model M tractor to the woods every weekend and cut a cord, and it was all split by hand. My neighbor's son was part of the splitting crew, and when he saw that I started doing firewood several years ago, he told me I was crazy. He didn't want to see anything to do with any piece of firewood. They ruined him as a young man.
All right, I'll go next. So I've been doing firewood as a kid since I was at least 5. We had a camp. This is my grandmother's camp. So essentially, at that time, I was a stacker or a gatherer, whatever you want to call it, because I couldn't swing an axe, and the old man wouldn't let me run a chainsaw. So I was pick this up and put it here. Okay, I can do that. And then probably when I was 8 or 10, the old man finally gave me the chainsaw, and I started ripping through it. I'm like, oh, this is the easy part. Yeah, I see it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we had a camp before then. We no longer have that camp, but that's where I came up from firewood, just from camp. But we went every weekend. We went every weekend to camp, so we needed the wood. We cooked over the wood. We had fires there was a fire going 24 hours a day. So it was awesome.
Nice.
I think for me, I was probably 8 or 9 years old, and we had we rent a local splitter. It's a Gordy McClellan splitter. So anybody that is in the Lanark County area in the valley here, everybody knows what a Gordy McClellan splitter is. And Gordy builds a really, really cool splitter, very basic splitter, but really intuitive auto cycle system on it. And I remember splitting with it, and it was always a fun job for us because it was for me, it was when all the guys were back at the shop here. It was all the guys that worked for Dad were back. We'd be splitting wood, and it was always a lot of fun doing that when I was a kid. And I remember being a young kid, like probably 10, 11 years old, and being able to drive the truck. So we had a wood room in the basement where you'd be just back into the garage, and you'd throw it through the hole, and it would be next to the furnace, sort of thing. And I remember being 10 or 11 years old and driving the truck around the yard here, and it was always a blast. I'll just give me a second. I'll tell you what year it was.
Dirt Road Landing, how you doing? Just gonna give a couple quick shout outs as I see him flying by.
Yeah, I probably would have been like 11 at the time because it was when Offspring Americana came out. So there you go.
Nice.
Bob, go ahead.
Yeah. For me, when I was younger, I didn't live in the city that I live in now. We lived in almost like Milwaukee area, and we'd come up for the weekend. My parents had a cottage on the river, actually, and that would be where we had firewood stuff going on there, and always had campfires and made marshmallows, and they call them pudgy pies. sandwiches or whatever that you put in, in the cast iron pie maker or whatever, put it in the fire. So that was where it was like started from, I think. And then I was in the Boy Scouts too, so we always had fires, and fire like was a thing that we were all like obsessed with. So as time went on, then I didn't do much in firewood like in my previous jobs, but then once I got into this, like I needed to have like a wood stove in the house and all that stuff, and I don't know, it's for me like I love the equipment, but also like making firewood in any form is sort of therapeutic. I think most of the people in the chat will feel that same way. It's just, I don't know. It's fun to do no matter which way you're doing it. We use a processor or a splitter or even a freaking axe, it's just, it's something fun to do.
And it gets in your blood.
Yeah.
It gets in. And yeah, I remember way back in the early days when we used to get snow in the winter in Wisconsin. My dad, he built a sled that he would hook up to the snowmobile, and on the bottom of it he had a piece of like steel from roofing steel for the barn that he had curled up on the front. And I think he had the sled at like 18 inches wide so that pieces of firewood would fit in it, and we'd drive out into the woods, because that was the only way to get to the woods in the winter, because there was usually snow. So we'd take the snowmobile, and we had this little sled that he pulled behind it, and would hold the saw and enough wood, to bring home for a day, and then we'd go back to the back 40 and make the firewood.
Nice.
Good times. Well, let's see.
Dan, was that video of the guy, was that your dad doing the splitting of those rounds all in a row? I saw somebody saying it was senior. So that actually was your dad.
Yes.
That's really cool.
And he would cut, I think it was 18-inch is what he used to cut for the stove. And so he lined those up. And the funny thing about that video is, and this is kind of like part of the inspiration for doing YouTube for me, was he used to put together like 4-hour VHS tapes of like everything he did for 6 to 8 months, and then he would send them up to our relatives in Alaska. They would then watch these VHS tapes, because they didn't really have cable back then or anything. So he would like document what he did with his camcorder and send VHS tapes up to Alaska to our relatives.
That's cool.
And that was one of the clips that I found.
That's cool, man. So, well, you have, if you have more, can you get more or not? You should share more. I mean, if he's cool with it, like.
Oh yeah, but it's all just like random stuff, like baling hay, milking cows,
Okay. Yeah.
Can I share my screen with you? I got to show you a Gordon McClellan wood splitter here.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if how that'll work, but give it a try.
Right there.
Yeah. I don't know how you would do that.
How it's not coming through.
What the heck? What?
The bandwidth in Canada is not working.
Can't do it. Should become the 51st.
What the heck? Is this splitter made on the planet Zoltar or something? Or what?
Andrew just demolished the live stream. I don't know what's happening.
Where'd it go?
I don't know. Darth Vader. It's not showing up to share or to show.
Do we all sound like that?
No.
No, Brad, you sound. No, you
sound What the heck?
Andrew, are you there? Now we completely lost him. Uh-oh. Hang on.
I'm showing a big buck.
It's getting out of hand, Dan.
Yep.
I missed the one that had the one horn on it.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
He's back.
He's back. All right.
Well, I didn't go anywhere. I've been right here the whole time.
You were robotic voice, like Darth Vader voice.
No, worse than Darth Vader. That was worse than Darth Vader.
All right. Well, I think that we are going to wrap this up. So, and if you guys just want to do any quick hitters around the horn, go ahead. Whoever wants to start. Joe looks like he's ready to cash in for the night, so we'll let you go first.
Well, I'm getting all. I saw these comments. I'm sitting here reading my phone, and everyone thinks I'm sleeping. I got my head down like this. I got my phone right here. Thanks for everyone tuning in. Dan, thanks for putting this together. And Shibe and Sam and Brad and Bob and Andrew. It's great to be associated with all of you.
Thanks for agreeing to be a part of this.
You too, Joe. Thanks, buddy.
Happy New Year, Joe.
Yes.
Thank you.
Happy New Year. All right. Who's next?
I guess I'll go next. Dan, thanks for the invite on here tonight. Glad to be a part of this great group. There's so many other great people in this chat here tonight, and I hope you all are ready for New Year's, and I wish you all a happy, safe, and healthy 2025, and I can't wait to see what we all get into this year.
All right, Shibe.
Wow.
He's got a refill first.
2025. Who would have thought? Here it comes. Here it comes.
That's what comes after 24.
Yep. Didn't think I'd be here, but I'm here. But again, thanks for everybody who came in here. I don't know why we're ending it 2 hours and 20 minutes early, but it's happening. It's happening. So, thanks to all you guys, Andrew, Dan, Bob. There's myself right there. Brad, Joe, appreciate all you guys. You guys are all great people.
Give us a woo. Give us a woo.
Yep, there's people asking.
I'm not at the woo yet, Dan. I'm not at the woo.
Okay.
This might
He can't
take 2.5 hours.
premature woo, okay?
This might take 2.5 hours. That's what I'm saying.
You better get to the woo damn quick. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you for your support. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Sam said it. I'm not there yet. But listen, we appreciate every one of you guys. Thanks for coming on. And I mean, I can go on all night if you really want. But Dan doesn't want me to. So I'll just pass it on to the next people. But
All right, save one more for the final goodbye. Bob?
All right. Well, yeah, Dan, thanks for having me on here. Thanks for the support. Thanks to everyone for the support for me personally, as well as at Wolf Ridge. Last year when I left my last job, I didn't know where I was going to land, and I had offers outside this industry, but I really, after the Paul Bunyan show, especially last year, I wanted to stay in this industry, and I'm glad I did. It's really cool to be part of. It was really fun to be part of this chat tonight with all you guys, and yeah, looking forward to 2025 and seeing you guys around.
Well said, Bob.
Yes.
woo!
All right, Andrew.
Yes, and woo!
Whoa.
Joe, power very high.
Oh, my God. God.
mute himself and then unmute.
I don't know if that's going to work.
If oak smell had a voice.
I think he was.
I think if he mutes it and unmutes it, it'll fix itself.
I think he was trying to share that video again. All right, Andrew.
Can you hear me now?
There you
Yes.
go.
Oh my God.
Yes.
There you
There,
go.
there we go. We're back. We're back. I don't know what happened there. I have no idea. Yeah, thanks for having me on, Dan. That was a blast. It was great to see everybody as normal. It's great to be part of this community and see it continue to grow and see it continue to expand and meeting the people. That's the best part of it, and we look forward to the future. Like it's pretty bright on this end of it, and we're looking forward to pushing forward here. So.
Well, I will echo what all of you said, and I want to thank each of you for being on here tonight, joining us for this final live stream of 2024. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in. The moderators, the super chatters, all you guys, really appreciate it all. And as we always say, stay safe, have fun, and be cool. And everyone, including all you right here, you five guys, enjoy the last days of 2024, and Happy New Year, and looking forward to 2025. So, Shibe, get ready. Here we go one last time. Raise up those cups, everyone, and have a great night and a great New Year. Cheers.
Woo.
Joe, you're
I hope everybody has a great day.
And
I'm working on that woo.
And have
A great day.
A great day.
I've got a ton of gravel in my shoes, world on my shoulders, heart full of blues. I'm in the dirt, down in the dirt. I've been a real bad boy on the town all night, starting to calm down in the morning light. I'm in the dirt, down in the dirt. Been a real bad boy. I've been a real bad boy on the town all night, starting to calm down in the morning light. I'm in the dirt, down